I hate to lose to the Cowboys. I hate it. But the truth of the matter is this. Come Sunday, after the Eagles beat the New Orleans Saints, that Dallas game isn't going to matter. Dallas still stinks. Yo, by the way, King Dingbat here, and I hope everybody's having a great day. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're hanging in there. You know, I gotta say this. Losing to the Dallas Cowboys stinks. It stinks. It's never something that you want to do. I don't care what the situation is, okay? I don't care if you're trying to tank for a franchise quarterback coming out of the draft and you need that number one pick and you need all the losses you can get. When you're playing Dallas, you got to beat them. You got to beat them. You'll always root against Dallas. It's just the way it is. It's the way it is. It's the life of an Eagle fan. But even though the Eagles didn't beat the Dallas Cowboys, this game won't matter much after Sunday. We're going to get into it in a second. But before we do that, if you're new to the channel and you like the content, make sure you hit that like button. More importantly, make sure you subscribe for the most censored, most throttled, Eagles content creator in all the internet. That's right here, Philly 500. And if you've been subscribed for a while, just double check. You know what to do. I don't have to say the rest. You don't want to hear it, but you know what to do. Now, I'm going to jump right into this, okay? Because to me, this Sunday is about setting everything back on course. It's about straightening up the mess of last Saturday night's loss. It's getting back on track. It's very simple for the Eagles. If you win, you're going to clinch your division. And you're going to clinch home field advantage. You're going to do two things with one win. All right? Two birds with one stone. Right? Or two Cowboys with one stone. I don't know. But all I know is this. You got to win versus Saints, and then everything is wrapped up. And essentially, if you wrap everything up, that Cowboys loss isn't going to hurt us. The only thing it does is give the Cowboys a moral victory because they beat the Philadelphia Eagles. They beat the best team in the league. And their fans can feel good and celebrate and think that they're better than they are. Only setting up the big, complete choke job that will be coming for the Cowboys. It's that simple, okay? The Eagles have to win Sunday and everything's wrapped up, okay? But let's say the Eagles don't win. What's got to happen? That's the question. So here's some scenarios for the Eagles in order to clinch the number one seed. I want to kind of go over, okay? James Palmer said, the Pound Eagles can clinch the number one seed in the NFC in Week 17 with this. 1, a Philly win. That's the easiest way versus Saints. Or they could have Dallas loses to Tennessee on Thursday Night Football. We'll talk about that in a second. San Francisco loses to Las Vegas. That ain't happening. And then Minnesota loses to the Green Bay Packers. You never know about that one. That could or could not happen. Who knows? But really, the scenario laid out before us in terms of San Francisco losing to the Raiders and then Minnesota losing to the Packers, it's not realistic, you know. It's not very realistic. So that's what the Eagles need in order to get the number one seed. However, if the Cowboys lose on Thursday Night Football, now I'm not saying they're going to because it looks like the Titans are on a downspin, but they have to go to Tennessee. And if they lose to Tennessee Thursday Night Football, the Eagles will clinch the division. So the Eagles don't even have to win to clinch the division. Clinching the division would then guarantee you one home playoff game. Now, that would not clinch the number one seed. You still need to win. But the division would be wrapped up. Essentially, making that Dallas Cowboys game not really matter or not really hurt us, okay? Like I said, the only thing that can come out of it is for the Cowboys. It's like a moral victory. So, you know, that's all they would get. The Eagles, they just need to go out and take care of business. For more reasons than one, okay? Remember, the Eagles, they beat the Saints. They clinch home field throughout the playoffs. That's a big thing, right? You need that bye week. Remember, only one team now, after they changed the whole playoff format, only one team gets a bye week, right? They add an extra team. That means the number 2 seed has to play the first round of the playoffs. Usually, the top 2 seeds get a bye. This year, only the first seed gets it. So the Eagles need that bye week, especially when you have injuries to Lane Johnson. You have Chauncey Gardner-Johnson coming back. How healthy is he going to be? Is he going to be ready to play this week? That's a whole nother issue. Then you have the whole thing with Jalen Hurts going on with his arm. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. But the Eagles need that bye week in order to rest their guys and get healthy. If you can lock it up and wrap it up versus the Saints, then you sit everybody versus the Giants as far as I'm concerned. And then you sit everybody on the bye week, of course. So you would get essentially 2 full weeks of rest. Pinky up when you drink. Always pinky up. It shows you have class, you know. Now, what was I saying? Okay, so yeah. If you beat the Saints, you get the home field, you get the bye week. Very, very important. The other thing is we have the Saints' first-round pick. You remember that genius move Howie Roseman made, right? He's got his pocket pencil protector, his Napoleon hat, his big, thick glasses. He's calculating the calculations of the cornbread, and he comes up with this trade, and bing, bang, boom. The Eagles could possibly land a top 10 pick, okay? Now, here's the situation. The New Orleans Saints, they stink. All right, this is a big situation. They stink. And really, if you look at it, the Saints, as bad as they are, and they should be like top 5 pick, they got 9 losses, right? As bad as they are, when you look at the standings here, they're essentially 1 game out of first place. 1 game out of first place. How does this always keep happening to us? You have the Miami Dolphins. They go 1-7 last year to start, and then bing, bang, boom, they go on a streak. Hurts our draft stock. Now you have the Saints, who are 6-9. They're 6-9, and they're literally 1 game out of first place because the Buccaneers are what, 7-8. The Buccaneers stink. Jeez, they stink. You know, so it's a crazy situation. And it's important for the Eagles to win this game, not just for the bye week, but also because of the draft pick. If the Saints were to win the division, instead of having a top 10 pick, it would jump back. I think somebody said it would be the highest it could be would be 19. So it could be 19 at the highest. All right, so you're talking about 9 slots possibly jumping if they win the division. See, if you win the division, you drop further in the draft because you won a division, you're a playoff team. If they don't win a division, they're going to be most likely a top 10 draft pick. As we currently stand right now, here's the draft order, the top 10 draft order after 16 weeks. You have 1, the Texans, 2, the Bears. Then you have the Seahawks via Denver. Denver, what a debacle they are. 4, the Cardinals, 5, the Colts, 6, the Falcons, 7, the Lions via the Rams, another debacle. At least they got a Super Bowl out of it. You know, they won their Super Bowl. 8, Panthers. Number 9, Raiders. Number 10, the Eagles. So currently, right now, the Philadelphia Eagles are standing with the 10th pick overall in this draft. That is a great place to be, especially for a team as good as the Eagles, okay? So I like that pick. I want to keep it within the top 10. But if the Saints somehow win this division, you can kiss that top 10 pick goodbye. So this game is important on multiple fronts. And the one good thing, if you want to take any good thing out of that Cowboys loss, is the fact that the Eagles aren't sitting starters, aren't resting people. They're not going to do that versus New Orleans. There was a lot of thought that if the Eagles beat Dallas, they may sit their starters in the Saints game or not play them the whole entire game, giving the Saints a win. So this is a situation where if the Eagles beat the Saints, a lot of good things start to happen. I feel like the off-trackness, if that's a word that we're on right now after that Cowboys game, I feel like everything gets put back in place. Everything gets back in order, and we're good to go. But you have to beat the New Orleans Saints. Okay, you just do. And if you beat them, they go to 6-10. I think their last game's against the Falcons, but I think for the most part that probably would take them out of any chance to win the division. So at worst case scenario, we get a top 10 pick. Now, when you look at the standings, there's a lot of teams that if they just lose one game or the last two games, the Saints could actually jump. Okay, you have like the Rams, the Falcons, and they're going to play the Falcons again. Okay, so the Falcons, the Rams, they're only one game ahead of the Saints in terms of worst pick. And then you have the Colts, which are two. Colts should have at least two more wins. So it's very frustrating. But this game versus the Saints is truly, truly, truly very important for multiple reasons. You can't take it lightly. The question is going to become this. Do the Eagles go ahead and try to play Jalen Hurts? Jalen Hurts could have played if it was a playoff game versus Dallas. He could have, but they chose not to do it. Will they choose to play him? My personal feelings are this. I think you can win this game with Gardner Minshew. It'll be a little scarier, maybe a little more close than you want, but I think it can be done. However, if the doctors can tell me, hey, listen, if Hurts goes out there and plays, he is not going to get more injured. He's not going to hurt that injury more. It won't get worse. It's about as bad as it can be, and he just got to play through the pain. If it's some situation like that, I say play him. But if not, you rest him. I think you can beat the Saints with Gardner Minshew. I know you can, especially at home. Okay? You got to lock it up. We got to lock it up here. Now, let's say the Eagles were to lose to the Saints. All right? Let's say that they lose to the Saints. If the Eagles lose to the Saints, I'm going to go into panic mode. All right? I'm not going to lie. I'm going to start to panic because I'm going to feel the pressure of possibly choking a number one seed. That would be bad. It would be very bad. I don't expect the Eagles to lose to the Saints. I don't think they're going to lose to the Saints. So what I'm saying is just take care of your business and everything's good. But if for some reason they did lose to the Saints and they have to play the Giants may or may not have clinched a playoff spot. Now, if the Giants have clinched a playoff spot, I highly doubt they play their starters that last game, which would make it easier for the Eagles to wrap up that number one seed. But the idea is you want to knock the Saints out. You want to give them their 10th loss, kind of ensure yourself getting a top 10 pick, top 12 pick. Then you want to clinch the division and you want to clinch home field advantage. Now, of course, like I said, Dallas plays on Thursday, so we can win the division as soon as Thursday night. I'll be streaming that game. We will be definitely rooting for the Tennessee Titans. I'm not expecting them to win, but I will be rooting for them nonetheless. So it should be very, very interesting. Eagles, they have everything out right in front of them. All they have to do is win this game, and everything kind of gets back on track. Then we have to worry about the injuries, nursing them, but at least we're going to have a good 2 weeks to rest. So with that said, we'll see what happens. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's Howie Vision. We're all just living in it. So something interesting just happened with the Eagles. Something we got to watch out. Apparently, the Eagles tried out tight end, former Dallas Cowboy Blake Jarwin today. Now, that's kind of a surprise. To me, not because they're trying out a tight end, they're looking for a veteran tight end. It's the timing. I thought they would have done this when Dallas Goedert was on the IR. But they're doing it now, and to me it makes total sense. You could use a veteran presence at tight end, especially going into playoffs. But it's something to keep your eye on. I think he's been battling through a lot of injuries over the last year or so. So I don't know if they're going to sign him or not. Something definitely to keep your eye on. Denzel Washington out.